Welcome back. I'm Miguel Perez, and we have three distinguished guests who are telling us all about immigration. Gentlemen, it's really a pleasure having you here. But let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what's coming in this country in terms of immigration. It's been a very controversial debate for several years. President-elect Barack Obama is now promising to introduce some kind of immigration reform legislation again within his first year in office. Are you optimistic that things are going to change for immigrants in this country?
Very optimistic, I am, because the laws so far have been extremely draconian. They've hurt a lot of immigrants, and hopefully with the hope that Obama promises, I believe that things will change. And with the help of Congress, maybe within the next year, the next 2 years, things will be much better, not as draconian as it used to be.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that it's gone through Congress twice and it's been rejected by Congress right now. There's a more democratic
Yes,
Congress.
there
Is
is
that
a
going
more
to make a
democratic.
difference?
I believe it will. I believe it will. Hopefully, when this airs, I don't know whether or not we'll have the two more senators that will make a 60 majority in the Senate. But if we do, I think Mr. Obama will get exactly what he wants, and the new immigration laws will pass.
I think Obama will pass immigration reform together with the Congress. However, I think this is not the opportune time for him to begin introducing the legislation as a newcomer to the presidency. I think he's going to have to wait until his second or third or fourth year, or maybe even the second term, to be able to do that. I think it would be highly controversial. I do think he is a visionary leader, and I think hopefully he will be able to do that. But I think from his political sense, from the way I'm looking at it, he may hold off for a little while.
Well, the question is whether people are going to be patient enough. He promised he would do it in his first year. And he also, the question here is really, can he do it? Can he convince Congress? And then the question also becomes, okay, does he have to do what McCain proposed, which was to close down the borders first in order to assure people that an amnesty program is not going to lead to another wave of immigrants who are going to expect another amnesty 10 years down the line. So can we guarantee to Congress that we are going to stop illegal immigration so that Congress can then give amnesty to the 12 million who are here?
Well, it may sound self-serving coming from an immigration lawyer who makes a living defending immigrants, but I think one day is too late for us to pass a comprehensive immigration reform. And using the same words that President-elect Barack Obama said during his campaign, he said the president can do more than one thing at a time. We can close the border and pass comprehensive immigration reform the same time. People will not stop coming to America. If we wait for people to stop coming to America before we pass a comprehensive immigration reform, it's like saying people will stop being criminals. It will never happen. So let's shut down the DA's office, let's shut down the police department, because people are going to stop becoming criminals.
And also, it's also a misconception, is it not, to say that it's the border, only the border, because almost half of the illegal immigrants in this country came legally. And stayed.
True.
And there's the economic aspect of it. Let's take the Bronx, for instance. Let's assume we have conservatively 400,000 young people between the ages of 14 and 19 who came here with their parents. They can't go to college because they don't have status. Now, fast forward 5 years from now, those young people will not have college education. They won't stop having children. They will have children. Okay, they get married, they get into crimes, they do part-time jobs, and then that becomes a pressure to the economic system. You know, those children that are born out, they're going to be citizen children. They'll be entitled to Medicaid. They'll be entitled to other form of government social benefits. That puts serious pressure into our system. Now, if we don't pass a reform system where such kids are allowed to go to school, earn a degree, and become productive members of the society, we continue to recycle.
And these kids are not going to go away.
They're not going to go away. They're going to be here, and that's just for the Bronx. We'll go to Brooklyn. We'll go to Staten Island. You can imagine what that will cause to our economic structure. So
it's a real shame, because you have very, very bright high school students who see this dead end at the they're going to graduate with honors, and then all of a sudden they're told they can't go to college.
I have clients who are top class students. They sit down at home and say, "Lawyer, I can't go to college because I don't have a green card."
Yeah. In our law firm, we have a lot of clients in that same situation, and we always talk about the DREAM Act that was almost considered being passed by Congress. We hope that Obama has a fortitude to move the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act is the least controversial of all the laws.
What does the DREAM Act do?
The DREAM Act allows young people who show a demonstrated commitment to service in the United States, whether it means 2 years in the military, 2 years in college, 2 years doing community service. Obama has talked about a service aspect to being a young person in America. The DREAM Act rewards those people with a green card and the ability to apply for college tuition and benefits.
One of the things that people are already asking of the president-elect is to stop the raids. Stop the raids of factories and people where illegal immigrants are. Is that realistic to expect that him to do that?
Well, politically he might not have the muscle to do that, but let's think strategically as people who are officers of the law. I think it's a waste of government investment. Can you imagine someday in the Bronx, the police department decides to raid some neighborhood because they suspect that there are criminals there? I mean, immigration violators are not criminals.
Well, and also
it's a civil violation.
And also the practice that ICE has, immigration, when they do not a raid of a workplace, but when they go search for somebody who is deemed deportable, and they look for that person in an apartment building, and they take what they call collateral.
Yes.
They knock on every door in the building, and they check on. They weren't looking for one person, so okay, take this person. Why are you taking half the building?
If you have an accent, if you have a foreign accent, they ask you, do you have a green card? And if God bless you if you don't have.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be picked up.
Because you could be if you just happen to be the neighbor of somebody who's wanted, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
It does happen. It does happen. We've seen many cases like that. People being woke up at 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes with guns drawn, ICE agents coming in, putting people on the floor, and as you say, taking collateral. Anyone who's associated with that family can be arrested, put into deportation proceedings, and separated from their family until a lawyer comes along or a strategy comes along that can possibly allow them to stay in the United States.
So we're finally going to get over this hump, and we're going to finally have some kind of immigration reform within the next couple of years on the President Obama?
I think within the first year of his administration. I think
so. Yeah.
if he delays it beyond the first year, it will be a tragedy.
Okay, but it also would cost him the presidency maybe, because the Latino vote would just go out the window.
He would
right?
lose
Yeah,
the Latino vote
you're
because he
absolutely
won
right.
because
He
of the
won,
Latino
he
vote.
won it big. He won 67% of
Yeah.
the Hispanic voter across the
From what
country.
we've known so far, he's an intelligent politician. So I'm sure he will weigh the political implications of passing a comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, the entire Southwest that he won, or the most states of the Southwest that he won, will be consolidated if he passes a comprehensive reform agenda.
Yeah, I think the Democrats will control the Latino vote for years to come if
Yes,
they do pass
they do that,
this.
right?
And in fact, the Latino vote actually swung 4 of the swing states for Obama in
Right.
the West.
Mhm.
New Mexico,
So, you know,
Colorado, New Mexico, Colorado,
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah, and Florida.
Yeah, in
Florida, not
yeah.
Florida, Florida. Listen, thank you for being on the program. It's really wonderful, the advice that you're giving us. One final word of advice to immigrants who may be watching this program. Should they hold on? Should they be optimistic? What do you say to them?
Be very optimistic. Like we were talking about, President-elect Obama, there's a lot of hope there. I think they should hold on and things will be fine. I really believe that.
I'd say go get your immigration files, start looking at your criminal record if you have that, and start considering the law and the new applications that will be coming.
One last word.
I tell my clients who are here without status, be calm, stay away from trouble. Don't commit any crime.
That's the key right now, right?
Yes.
All right. Listen, thank you very much for being on the program.
You're welcome.
We'll see you soon on another edition of the Bronx Journal. Now we'll stay on camera for a couple of minutes because they roll the credits.